Hi boys and girls. Today we are going to locate a given point on the number line and it's going to be greater than 1. So let's take a look at how we do that. Okay, we're going to be working with the fractions 6/3 and 7/6 today. So let's see how we put that on a number line. So first of all, I'm going to start off with a 0 endpoint. We know that we are going to start at 0 and kind of work our way. So first of all, I'm going to partition to 1. Okay, I know if I look over here at my fraction, this tells me a lot about what I need to do to my number line. If I look at my denominator right here, it tells me that I'm going to partition my whole, or between 0 and 1, or into 3 pieces, 3 parts. Okay, the numerator, my top number, tells me that I'm going to have 6 parts. Okay, once I move over and locate this number. Okay, so what that tells me is my number is going to go, or this fraction is going to go above 1, because I know that 6 is more than 3. So I'm going to partition or create another whole. In other words, between 1 and 2 is a whole. Here's a whole right here, and here's a whole right here. So let's locate where 6/3 would be on the number line. Again, for 3, the denominator tells me that I'm going to partition my whole from 0 to 1 and from 1 to 2 into thirds. So let's do that. So, okay, and I've partitioned here. Then I'm going to partition this whole from 1 to 2 into thirds. Now, let's start labeling our hash marks to find out where 6/3 would be located on this number line. So, we know that if we're at 0, we have 0/3. Okay, if I move over, okay, to this hash mark, I can see that I would have 1/3, and I can shade that little part of the number line there. Okay, I've got 1/3 once I get to that hash mark. When I get to the next hash mark, and this is not the most even or equal parts, but that's okay. I'm at 2/3. Then I'm going to move my way over to this number 1. And we should know that when we get to 1, we have 3/3. That's our whole. Okay, we broke this line into thirds, and once we get to 3 of them, we're at the whole, and we're at 1. Okay, we're looking for 6/3, so we need to keep going. Again, we still broke this part of the number line, so let's keep on going into thirds. We're going to keep going. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4/3 when I get to this hash mark. Then, when I get to this hash mark, 5/3. And then finally, we're going to shade one more time to find 6/3. And here we are at 6/3. And what do we notice when we get to 6/3? We actually fall on the whole number 2. That means we have 2 wholes of something, 2 whole circles. We have 2 whole distances from 0 to 1 or 1 to 2. So let's take a look at one more example. We're going to look at 7/6. Again, I can use these numbers in my fraction to help me understand what my number line needs to look like. I know that my denominator, my bottom number, tells me that I'm going to divide my line up into 6 equal pieces. That's what that denominator tells me. The numerator tells me that I'm going to have 7 of those equal pieces. I know that 7 is more than 6, so I know that this fraction is going to be bigger than 1. So, I'm going to make my number line through 2. Here's one whole piece of the number line here. Here's one whole piece of the number line here. I'm going to partition my number line into 6 pieces as equally as I possibly can. Gonna do the same thing to this part of my number line. There we go. Now, we're gonna start labeling our number line, and we're looking for the fraction 7/6. Now, some of you are getting really good at this, and you can say, hey, I know I can just count my way over, and I can locate 7/6, and good for you. So again, if we're at 0, we have 0/6. We move over to this next hash mark, we have 1/6. And again, notice that I'm putting this fraction right above that hash mark. Whoops, 6, not 5th, 6. Okay, I have 1 2/5. When I get to this hash mark, I have 3/6. I don't know why I keep saying 5th, because I know we're dealing with 6. We've got 4/6. Okay, again, I'm trying my very best to put that fraction right above the hash mark. 5/6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. When I get to that hash mark, 6/6. That means I'm at 1. I'm at 1 whole. Okay, and I am going on to 7/6. That's what I'm looking for. 7/6.